Hi, darling. When I was a little girl, I had so many emotions and so many thoughts just constantly swirling inside of me. I remember wondering if everyone else also had this much going on inside, and how did they navigate it? How did they handle it? I remember thinking, how are we supposed to navigate life on Earth without a manual? I was really introspective and spent a lot of time journaling and contemplating and planning my life. And as I was doing all this, I would have all of these eureka moments and, okay, I figured this out, and I figured out this is the key to life and this is the secret to happiness. And this is before I was old enough to really get into the self-help world. And then cut to decades later, doing all of the self-help exploration, doing my own therapy, doing all of my own inner work, including meditation and many other practices. I still felt like I was missing that manual, that lifeline that really helps us get through, especially the difficult moments. What I developed for myself over the years is exactly what I wish I had when I was younger. It's that manual, it's that map, it's the essential tools that I needed to get through life, especially those really difficult moments. The entire reason for even starting this YouTube channel is to share that. I feel like in some way I can send the message back to my past self, or maybe to you listening to this now. If any kernel of this is helpful for you, whoever you are and wherever you are in space-time watching this, then it's worth it for me to show up and do this. Wherever you are, just pause for a moment, look around, feel what it's like to be here. Take a breath. This is it. This is our life. Thank you for spending this moment of your life here with me. Wherever you are, whatever state you're in the moment that you're watching this or listening to this, I think now more than ever, we need what I'm about to share. The world really feels like a difficult place to be right now. And whether that's an illusion and whether that's always been the case, somehow I still think that right now, more than ever, we need this. What I'm going to share today, and probably in a series of several episodes, is the essential toolkit, the essential map, basically that manual that I felt I needed a long time ago. So I'm glad you're here. Let's start. And I truly, truly hope that this offers something of benefit to you. If you happen to be new here, hello, my name is Parisa. I'm a certified meditation teacher with over 20 years of practice, and I'm here to help you streamline and clarify and simplify your practice, whatever that is, beyond meditation, so that it can help you feel resourced and self-trusting and self-led and free. If you're looking for a path to well-being that is grounded and embodied and free from magical thinking and pseudoscience, then I think you're in the right place. One thing I want to say about YouTube that I really love is I truly believe that well-being and these practices and all of these tools, that insights that may be helpful to share, everyone deserves them. Everyone deserves well-being and to discover their own way to find well-being. Yes, I offer programs. Yes, I'm happy to work with people directly if they need personal guidance. But really so much can be shared for free right here on YouTube. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I get really at the idea that there's some secret information or strategies or tools or practices that someone needs to sell you, or that you should be buying from someone so that you can feel connected with yourself or feel like you have access to some sense of well-being or freedom. I mean, it's so absurd. I truly believe that well-being is for everyone, and it doesn't have to be so complicated. And yes, we could spend time unpacking what I'm about to present here. Yes, I could spend a lot of time unpacking it and going deeper, but really at its core, it's pretty simple. Not easy, but pretty simple. And so when I thought about what kinds of videos I wanted to make next, I really felt like it was important to make a series that really shares this manual, this essential toolkit, or this essential map that I've developed for myself out of necessity for that young person inside of me that really, really needed the manual for living life. And so that's what I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to begin to share it today. I don't know how many episodes it will be, but we're just going to let it flow and see where we end up. A couple things I want to say before I go too far. One of them is that what I'm about to share, and maybe over the next few episodes, is going to really be a guide, just like a map might be a guide or a compass. One of the things that I've found super important as I've developed this for myself is that it should be personalized to you. So in a future episode, I will really share how to make the practice yours, how to make the essential toolkit and the map your own, because I really believe that it's not one size fits all, and personalizing your toolkit will really make it so much more effective and honestly so much more fun to use instead of something that fits for someone else. The other thing I want to say is I am not presenting this as something that I invented or some method that I have created. What I'm sharing are actually very, very old practices that do come from Eastern traditions like Buddhism and the practices of mindfulness and meditation. However, what I present is beyond meditation, does not require meditation. What I'm sharing is really, in a way, a synthesis of some very, very old practices that are tried and true, simply organized into an essential toolkit or a map that you can personalize and make your own so that it's really easy to follow and accessible and a lifeline for you. And I like this idea of it being a homecoming. Really a way for you to guide yourself to come back to you whenever you need. So before we get into sharing a quick overview of the essential toolkit, which again I will unpack in future episodes, I want to quickly touch on, in my experience as a meditation teacher, these are the common blocks that people report about why they feel blocked in having a well-being practice. Actually, I'll share what the blocks are and then also why I think an essential toolkit offers a remedy to that block, okay? The first one is, I don't have time for a well-being practice in my day. So when we think that we need to add something in addition, yeah, it's gonna feel like we don't have enough time. But if the practice is something that is super integrated and also something super quick that doesn't feel like something that we need to add on, then it really becomes much more possible to fit in. The other one is, I know I should meditate or take a few breaths or take a walk or whatever the thing is, whatever your version of personal practice is that you know works for you. But in the moments when I need it the most, I'm just not in the mood. And I think here where the essential toolkit can really help is being connected to your inner compass, that embodied awareness practice, so that you can catch yourself before you get super dysregulated. Being connected to the body and knowing how you can regulate yourself or bring balance back to your body, mind. And yeah, essentially bring yourself back to calm. So that's step one, is getting yourself back to a place where you can then remember to connect with breath, remember to reach for a practice. So in a way, the essential toolkit is what helps you access the practice. I also often hear, I keep getting stuck. It's like, I forget how to practice, I forget everything that I know, or I have so many tools and I just in the moment feel scattered and unable to reach for them or even know where to start. So again, here where the map comes in, and sometimes, by the way, I'm going to use essential toolkit and essential map interchangeably, but basically the map is what helps us know where to start, like paint by numbers or following the breadcrumbs really. And it helps make it super easy to know where to start, what step to take next, and just makes it a lot easier to follow. And maybe one of the biggest blocks that I hear is this sense of not trusting yourself, this sense that I don't trust myself, or that I'm not sure if I actually can guide myself or even help myself access what I already know will be helpful for me in the moment. And so one of the elements of an essential toolkit is self-trust, is developing self-leadership, so that you're not always questioning, you're not always wondering if you're doing it right. And this comes with time and with repetition and a growing track record of being able to guide yourself. That self-trust does grow. And so a big part of it is connecting with an inner compass, or connecting with yourself, your own body, your own felt sense of being, so that you're not constantly doubting and you're able to really be your own guide and your own wise inner voice, instead of seeking something outside of yourself. We're so used to always reaching for something else, and we do that to soothe ourselves. But when you become really familiar with your states and what your body feels like, when you're beginning to really feel off balance, you can catch yourself earlier. Okay, so at this point, you're probably like, okay, what actually is the essential toolkit? What actually is this essential map? What are you talking about? Okay, I'm finally gonna get to it. The foundation of it is this. You can guide yourself with 3 simple guiding questions and lead yourself through your practice. So the first question is, what is here? And that question prompts us to connect with an embodied awareness practice. So that sense of the inner compass that I talk about, and really getting familiar with, what does it feel like? What is here right now? What state am I in? And as I'm going through them, you can check in with yourself and practice already. Okay, right now in this moment, what is here? What does it feel like in the body? What quality of thoughts might be swirling around the mind, and emotions that might be moving through the body, and just really what is here right now. Once you have a felt sense, and once you've answered that in some way for yourself, you move on to the next question, which is, what does it need? So that part of you that might be imbalanced, what does that part of you need to get back into balance? And so this is something that may be different on different days, but we all have our common tendencies. And so we can become familiar with where we commonly get off balance. And so that helps us have a deeper understanding and get better and better at knowing how we can bring ourselves back into balance. So real quick, right now, if you really ask yourself, okay, what do I really need in this moment? If you notice some place where you were a little bit off balance, what would help bring you back into balance right now? A lot of times, for most of us, what we need is to soften somewhere, and that might mean physically softening and relaxing in the body. That helps us soften and relax beyond the body. And what can be really helpful here is to connect with a sense of compassionate witnessing. So whatever you noticed when you asked yourself what was here, now can you really meet that with care? Almost as if you've asked a friend, what is here, what's going on? And how would you as a good friend respond to that? Be that to yourself. We're really starting with tending to the needs of the body. Again, as that inner compass, as that instrument that's letting us know how we're doing, can also let us know what we need. Where do we need to soften, open? Where do we need to bring in kindness? But for now, we'll move on to the third and final question, which is, what is possible? So this is after you've brought in some degree of balance. Now you can ask yourself, what is possible? Which is really a question of becoming. What is possible for you to step into right now? This is a question of alignment or an embodied aspiration. So right now, if you were to make a little adjustment in the body and beyond, what would be possible for you to feel, to be like, to embody? And this is when we lean into feeling good, lean into goodness. So the reason I call it an essential map is because we've moved from where we are, or where we were initially, right? To, okay, this is where we are, this is what I need right now, and this is where it's possible to go. And so that's what an essential toolkit or an essential map can do for us, to, in a really streamlined, clean, and simple and quick way, have these check-ins and these adjustments. This is where I'll pause for today. In my opinion, some version of that is what can be helpful to virtually everyone and can really serve as a pathway to be more connected with ourselves and be more fully here for our lives, feel better, and enjoy our lives more. Because, again, these days, more than ever, it feels like this is what we need. We all need our own version of an essential toolkit that's personalized for us, that makes us feel that we have something to reach for, that is accessible, that is there for us when we need it, so that we're not just bracing ourselves through these days, that we're really able to wisely navigate through them and be free. So let me know what you think of me taking this and making it a series and really gently unfolding each element of what really makes an essential toolkit empowering to us. You might already have some questions, so let me know in the comments your thoughts, any questions you have, and what you would really like me to cover, because I do this for you. I truly, truly do this for you. Well, I do this for my past self and I do this for you. So yeah, let me know.